the Canon EOS R8 is officially coming out in April of 2023. You ready to hear about it? Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? This is Aaron, of course, and the one and only rmanfilms. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. You can also check out all behind the scenes stuff at my Instagram listed below in the description. Now to get right into it, this Canon EOS R8 is releasing in April of this year in 2023 and is going to be price pointed at $1,500. Now for the price point of $1,500 and it being a mirrorless, it is, I think, pretty reasonable for what the specs have for it and what comes in it. Right off the bat, we got a 24.2 megapixel full frame sensor that comes with your R8. It also comes with dual pixel autofocus 2. I believe it's the CMOS 2 from possibly the EOS R. I gotta look more into that. It films at an uncropped 4K up to 60 frames a second. That is oversampled from 6K footage. Now, to me, I think that is a really big deal considering that this is a $1,500 camera, and for the right consumer, I think they're gonna take super advantage of it. I mean, I personally have been thinking about it, but I'm not gonna get it right away and do the pre-order because I would love for everyone to go out and buy it first, and then I could see if there was any problems for anything. As far as anything on YouTube, for everyone, Canon shipped out to test it with all the RF lenses and EF lenses to go through photos and videography. It seems pretty awesome. It has a max recording time of 2 hours. Now, one thing that Canon always lacked was the 30-minute break time, where let's just say you are filming for one whole hour, it will chop it up in 30-minute intervals. But with this, with the 4K, I believe with the 4K 24, you can go for the 2 hours. But if you're shooting in full HD with a 1080, you could go up to about 240 frames a second, or I believe 180, and you can only get about 30 minutes. It also has in-camera composting, and it has an awesome raging 3-inch LCD screen, and I believe it flips out too. So why is this such a big deal for Canon users, specifically going towards the whole price point? Is because a lot of people, when it comes to the 4K 60, they usually have a running, like, I believe a 1DX Mark II and 3 and up, or maybe like the R6 or the R5, R4s. They kind of have that capability, but for $1,500, this R8 is definitely a game changer, because now for a lot of people and consumers that really take in the videography aspect and the photography aspect seriously, they will have a full access to the 4K 60 and really take advantage of their creativity and put it right back into the video. One thing that's really cool is the face detection. Now, it can definitely recognize anything from a car to a person to even an animal, and I believe when you're looking to the viewfinder of the actual camera, you can actually scroll between each subject while you're in there, and it'll pull up the digital screen. You could use the dial on the back and go through each interval face that it comes up. So let's just say you're at a dog, and then let's just say, you know, you want the focus to be like on your mom, or maybe there's a car in the back, or you're at a car show. It's pretty flexible for what comes within this camera. Going back to the megapixel thing, I would definitely think it would be a little higher considering it is shooting that 4K 60, maybe at least 26, maybe 2 more megapixels, but it would definitely make a difference. It's definitely a huge difference from my T5i that I normally use, which is, like I said, 17 to 18 megapixels. And the biggest thing I've been lacking was doing the real investment, but I am, like I said, I'm on the edge. I'm gonna see how everybody likes it besides the people that Canon sent out. I want a lot of people to see it more and be more, that I want people definitely to be on top of this camera, so then it will definitely open my mind and possibly open my options to possibly getting an actual 4K camera for 2023. I think I forgot to mention that you can actually use it for live streaming, as far as OBS Studio, maybe for Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and the whole 9 yards. Now, there's one interesting fact that was on the Canon website that I'm reading directly off of, is that they have a vertical movie mode. Now, I'm curious of what that's gonna look like. I mean, I haven't done too much research about it, but I'm doing just a brief opening talk about it. But if I believe, I don't know if it could crop or you would have to just do the normal flip, but if it could do an actual crop on there, and possibly maybe hoping to see if they have like a black bar function for anybody doing like the 2/3 ratio, I think that would be awesome. The question I can't seem to find is that if they're going to release a battery grip. One thing I have just really looked into was they are making an extension for the bottom for bulkier hands. Like, my hands are really bulky. I mean, I don't want to brag, but they're pretty big hands. So when it comes to like the smaller cameras, it's okay, but it's like I could use the bigger space. So I might get the extension with it when I do purchase it. And I did find out that it can also take the EF adapter that's been selling and flying off the shelves. I remember the first 2 or 3 years when the Canon EOS R released, those things were never in stock. It was crazy, but I did do my research, and it says it's capable of doing that even with older EF lenses like 24-70 L lenses or even Sigmas. Anything with the EF adapter, it could work. In conclusion, I think for 2023, this is going to be an awesome starter for the Canon line of the R series for the R8s. Possibly next year, I'm going to be really mad if I invest into this R8 and then the R2 comes out, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be at a super high price point, probably standing up within the R5 to R6 line. Definitely going to be like a $2,500 camera, maybe $3,000. That is, it's nice, but like the big thing is like the megapixels and the overheating that really like, kind of drew me away. Like I would hate to put my camera in the fridge after like 20 minutes of trying to shoot 8K. Also, if your computer can handle 8K footage, no problem, or 6K footage, no problem. Normally the base of everything is 4K, even on TVs and phones. You don't see TVs or even a lot of computers pushing 6K or even having 6K displays. It's not common unless you're really building that custom PC. Real quick, right before the video ends, there was 2 things I almost forgot. Number 1 is that it is a single SD card slot. I know it's very beneficial when people are continuously filming and they can have that second card as a backup. Unfortunately, it is just 1 card slot. And 2, this is a big deal breaker, that there is no in-camera image stabilization, but they do have a digital stabilization. One of the creators actually showed the example of the difference between them just kind of walking and holding it to their chest and turning it on, and it seems pretty okay. There wasn't too much warping. I didn't really see much warping, but I feel like that's something that could work, you know, hopefully with the right lens that has the image stabilization that could kind of boost up the way to get everything going. Anyways, that wraps up this awesome video of Canon EOS R talk. I am glad to say that I will always love Canon. I love their in-camera colors. I love their composting inside camera abilities and just the whole 9 yards. I've been with them since the very beginning. Thank you guys so much. This is Aaron, of course, and the one and only rmanfilms. Let's see what this camera does for the year. Good night.